another episode of Motorboating with Mammeries. This is Tanks for the Mammeries playing World of Warships in open beta test. This was a battle that I played yesterday in my Atlanta, and it was a pretty good fight. It didn't look in the beginning like it was going to start out as much, but the reason I wanted to show you this replay is I ended up with 18 Citadel hits, which is pretty incredible, and I didn't realize during the game that I'd gotten 18 Citadel hits. And also, I wanted to show it because for those of you out there who are not familiar with the Atlanta, for folks that did not come into this game in closed beta, but who came into it in open beta and are now in the game and haven't seen the Atlantas before or aren't familiar with the light cruiser USS Atlanta, this will help you understand a bit about what the Atlanta does, and also a bit about why wargaming has taken it out of taken away your ability to buy it right now as you work your way up through the tiers. So one thing that you need to be aware of is the Atlanta is very fast. It fires constantly. You can, if you time your shooting right in the Atlanta, you will never be in a position where you're waiting for a reload. You will be constantly firing a stream of 5-inch shells at your target. It is pretty weak from the standpoint of armor. You get turrets taken out pretty much every time you get hit, but you have a lot of turrets, and so you can you can obviously use those turrets to your advantage. And it's such a beautiful looking ship. Check this out. I mean, that is a good looking ship. I've got the camouflage on it temporarily, and this is the camouflage to confuse enemy gunners and make it more difficult for me to be hit. And also I'm running a number of flags on the ship just because I could. I've got apparently a ton of these flags in my locker, and so I figured I'd just go ahead and put a few of them on the ship for a game and just see what happens. So as it stands right now, I'm going down to the little alleyway here in F6, F7, E6, E7, where you typically find a lot of destroyers coming up into this little channel, and I'm going to come down here and put a few torpedoes in the channel just to sort of discourage people. I know I'm not going to hit anything. The torpedoes range on the Atlanta is under 5 kilometers, so they're not really something that you use a good bit, but there's a lot of folks out there who, because they're not familiar with the Atlanta, do not know that this American cruiser carries torpedoes, because after a certain size, most of the American cruisers do not carry torpedoes. Atlanta is an exception to that rule. It is a higher tier American cruiser, and it does carry torpedoes. But because the range of the torpedoes is under 5 kilometers, they're really sort of a last-ditch weapon. I look at it like it's a tis but a scratch weapon. If you are, if you've somehow gotten yourself in a position where you've closed with larger tier enemy ships and they're pounding the absolute crap out of you, before you die, you might as well launch torpedoes at them in the hopes that, you can atone for your mistake by taking somebody out of the game. So after I launch those down there's nothing really happening that way. I have been detected, and I think I'm trying to figure out from where I got detected. And as usual, I'm about to run into an island. That is the typical Motorboating with Mammeries skill, is to somewhere in the game bang into an island. And there we go. I managed to not get stuck on it, and decide to start taking some shots at these cruisers up here, which is a huge mistake. And as I said at the beginning of the video, this game doesn't look like it's going to start out as much because I make a lot of pretty stupid mistakes here, starting with running into the island, and second with opening up on the enemy where I am in range of every one of their ships. There goes one of my turrets. So I decided to fix the other turret, which uses my repair kit. And of course, because I am still in range of pretty much all 3 of those ships right there, and I'm the only one they can see, everybody's shooting at me. So I managed to get missed by a couple of volleys there, but these guys are going to start taking the toll on me. And as I said, I've already used up my repair kit, so there goes another turret. As I said, every time you get hit, you pretty much lose a turret. And I'm trying to get away from these guys. Made the mistake, and now I'm trying to get out of it. And there we go. So now my rudder is jammed. I've used my repair kit. There's nothing I can do about it. And it's time for us to just sail around in circles. And I'm still detected, and I can't figure out where it's coming from. I'm assuming that somewhere in the middle there is a destroyer that I just can't see. He's out of my visual range. So while I'm steaming around in circles waiting for my repair skill to cool down, I'm going to put some torpedoes out there again just to sort of deter anyone from taking an easy shot at me. And we're still moving around in circles. Thank goodness the 3 enemy ships that were actually in that open area have now moved on somewhere else. So I'm not taking any fire, but this would have been, if somebody had stuck around, this would have been the end of my game. So again, now I've got the torpedoes on the other side available to shoot, so I'm going to go ahead and fire those down there. And my repair is on cooldown. It's just about over, so now I can repair my rudder, and I am out of there. So rather than stick around this spot, in Atlanta, you know, if you start taking some fire, don't stick around and try and duke it out. You might as well move on somewhere else and see if you can't find a different target of opportunity to hit. So while we're moving along, I'm going to go ahead and speed it up a little bit. Again, still detected, and I'm not sure why. There's 2 destroyers on the enemy team. One of those is going to be spotted down near our Ranger. But what I've noticed is that our Omaha up there in the E9 area is taking on a battleship, and he's going to die pretty quick. There he goes. But there's also an Omaha that's gone over there, and my thought was, well, I'll see if I can't back up this Warspite that's down there in G8, let him get around that side of the island, and I would go around to the north and see if I could either go through that channel and fire on somebody that way. But apparently Fletch War, the enemy battleship, was destroyed, and it looks like it was it's just a flesh wound. I don't know. Anyway, so he died, which means the Warspite is going to find that Omaha. I'm going to find that Omaha, and the Omaha up there in D9 has decided he's not going to go after that Warspite by himself. So I figured, well, as I'm looking around basically on this side of the map for the enemy destroyers that I think are somewhere in this area, I am aware that the Omaha was turning around, and my guess is that he is going to come back around this island head here in just a second off to my starboard bow. So I get ready for that. I swing my guns that way, and sure enough, there he is. And now he's in a 4.5 kilometer range. He's going to put some good hits in on me. But because he's coming right at me, and I know he's got torpedoes, now I've already hit his Citadel once. So I'm going to go ahead. He's lining up for torpedo run on me. I'm going to line up on one on him as well. I fire him, and I go right back to my guns. So he has no idea that I've got torpedoes on this. And there we go. Boom. Look at that. 5 Citadel hits in 1 salvo. And there goes another one. 9 Citadel hits, 1 torpedo, and he is toast. And I've managed to dodge his return torpedo fire. So he hurt me pretty good. But at this point on the chat, he's going to say, how did he die? And I honestly did not know I'd gotten those Citadel hits on him at the time. I was too busy trying to survive. There he goes. He says, how did I just die? And I really thought it was my torpedo that sank him. And it was, but I thought it did way more damage than it did. I didn't realize I'd gotten that many Citadel hits on him. So I tell him it was torpedoes that just killed him. And he is surprised because he didn't realize the Atlanta had torpedoes. And because the Atlanta is no longer on the tech tree for everyone, because it's been removed by Wargaming from the tech tree, you can't go research what the Atlanta's capabilities are. So I'm telling you right now, the Atlanta can shoot all day long, 5-inch shells. Basically, if you time it right, you never have to worry about waiting for a reload. And it does actually have torpedoes. So if you get within knife fighting range of an Atlanta, he can put torpedoes into you while he is raining down gunfire all over your ship. And even if you're in a battleship, the gunfire from the Atlanta can set you on fire and keep you on fire all day long. So he's dead, and I am moving on. So what I've done is I've gotten in the cap here. And I'm in the cap because there's an enemy ship in our cap, the Miyoko. And we've got a bunch of ships down there. Obviously, the Ranger's still there, the Cleveland is there, the Warspite is there. But because they're capping, I thought it was better for me to go ahead and do an insurance cap for us, just in case the Cleveland, the Ranger, and the Warspite were unable to kill that Miyoko, because the enemy carrier is still out there, and he's got torpedo planes and dive bombers all over those guys down there on the southwest corner of the map. So I figured I'd go ahead and do an insurance cap here, and I'll speed it up just a little bit. I don't know where that... I don't know where the carrier is yet. I mean, I see his bombers heading up to the corner there, up to somewhere in the B3 area. So I'm just going to stay on the cap here just to ensure that we get the win, because so far I've had a pretty good game. And this is about this point that I've noticed all the Citadel hits and the other gunfire I've done. So I'm figuring, especially with the flags that I've got, that I want to go ahead and make this a win. So, but our torpedo bombers just killed the enemy Miyoko that was on our cap, which means that the only ship left is the carrier. So I am going to go ahead and get off cap. We still have 7 minutes left in the game. I'm going to go ahead and get off cap here, and I'm going to go hunt that carrier down. So speed it up a little bit for us, so we're not wasting time. I thought he might be behind the island. I get close enough, he's not there. So I'm going to just go up somewhere in the B3 area and see if I can find this guy. So, and this is not the most graceful end of the game, but there he is. So now I've spotted this guy, and here's the deal with this. So I am going to miss him a tremendous amount, but the reason I'm missing him is because he's bow on to the edge of the game, and because he's bow onto the edge of the game, his ship is actually sliding along the barrier there on the edge of the map, and so his ship is not moving in a natural way as it would in the game. So I'm having a hard time adjusting my lead to this guy. You see some that went short, some that went long, some more that are going to go long and short, and I start to get it in there. I think, okay, now I've got him. Now I've got it figured out. As you can see, I'm trying to hit this guy, but it's still just not all of them are going where they should because of the way that his ship is actually maneuvering. So I get him set on fire. I don't have to worry about any more aircraft coming out of him. And I'm starting to put some good hits in on this guy now. And we're getting closer and closer, so I'm thinking, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and put some torpedoes into this guy. Let me speed this back up to normal speed here. So, still taking the shots on him. Now he's turning his ship so he can start to run. There's another Citadel hit out of 5 more fired at him. Now his secondary batteries are coming into play, but I can handle anything those guys can throw out at me. Yeah, there goes another turret. As I said, every time you get hit, you lose a turret. But I'm putting some good fire into this guy. I know I'm gonna be able to beat his gunfire, and I'm thinking, well, let's go ahead and put some torpedoes into him. And I don't pay attention to my lead marker, and so those are going to miss. That is not the most elegant way to go after this guy. So since they're going to miss, I'm just going to start shooting at this guy. Look at that, beautiful. It's camouflaged. That's a beautiful shot right there. And Citadel hits coming, 22 hits right there. Citadel hits, 5 Citadel hits right there, 12,000 damage. And here he goes. So that's the end of that battle. That was a really nice victory in the Atlanta. 331,000 credits, almost 5,000 experience, 18 Citadel hits, 1 torpedo hit, 2 ships sunk. This is why, folks, the Atlanta is not in the tech tree right now, but be aware, the guns are very deadly. It does have torpedoes. That was a really enjoyable game. Like I said, it didn't start out looking like it was going to be much, but I was really pleased with the finish, especially the 18 Citadel hits. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube page, Tanks for the Mammeries. This is Motorboating with Mammeries, the series of World of Warships. Thanks very much. Take care. Have a great day.